Hey all, I'm just going to read a couple things really quick. I'm going to read a little quote by a guy by the name of Neil Postman, who wrote a book called Amusing Ourselves to Death. And then I'm going to read a short quote by Jordan Maxwell. So this is kind of a preface to the quote for Neil Postman's Amusing Ourselves to Death. We were keeping our eye on 1984 when the year came and Orwell's prophecy didn't. Thoughtful Americans sang softly in praise of themselves. The roots of liberal democracy had held. Wherever else the terror had happened, we, at least, had not been visited by Orwellian nightmares. But we had forgotten that alongside Orwell's dark vision, there was another, slightly older, slightly less well-known, equally chilling prophecy: Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. Contrary to common belief, even among the educated, Huxley and Orwell did not prophesy the same thing. Orwell warns that we'll be overcome by an externally imposed oppression. But in Huxley's vision, no big brother is required to deprive people of their autonomy, maturity, and history. As he saw it, people will come to love their oppression, to adore the technologies that undo their capacities to think. So here's the quote. What Orwell feared were those who would ban books. What Huxley feared was that there would be no reason to ban a book, for there would be no one who wanted to read one. Orwell feared that those who would deprive us of information, Orwell feared those who would deprive us of information. Huxley feared those who would give us so much that we would be reduced to passivity and egotism. Orwell feared that the truth would be concealed from us. Huxley feared the truth would be drowned in a sea of irrelevance. Orwell feared we would become a captive culture. Huxley feared we would become a trivial culture, preoccupied with some equivalent of the feelies, the orgy-porgy, and the centrifugal bumble puppy. As Huxley remarked in Brave New World Revisited, the civil libertarians and rationalists who are ever on the alert to oppose tyranny failed to take into account man's almost infinite appetite for distraction. In 1984, Huxley added, people are controlled by inflicting pain. In Brave New World, they are controlled by inflicting pleasure. In short, Orwell feared that what we hate will ruin us. Huxley feared that what we love will ruin us. This book is about the possibility that Huxley, and not Orwell, was right. So that's the first quote. And then there's another quote here I'm going to read you really quick. Oh, wrong place, just a second. Here it is. This is from Jordan Maxwell. Let's see. Keep in mind that what your government pays for, it gets. If you are paid to do something for the government, they will extract exactly what they have paid for. When we understand that, and then we look at universities and schools, government-financed institutions of education, and see the kinds of students and kind of education be turned out by these government-financed schools, logic will tell us that if what was being turned out by these schools was not in accord with what the state and federal government wanted, they would change it. The bottom line is the government is getting exactly what they ordered and paid for. They do not want you or your children to be educated. They do not want you to think too much. This is why our country, and now the world, has become so proliferated with entertainments and amusements. Mass media, video games, game shows, television shows, movies, amusement parks, smartphones, social media, alcohol, drugs, sex, sports, shopping, and every other kind of human entertainment possible. To keep the human mind occupied and entertained, so you don't get in the way of important people by doing too much thinking. You had better wake up and understand that there are people guiding your life and you don't even know it. Most people can probably sense this and feel something is going on, but everyone is so busy living their lives and being happy. And after all, what can one person do anyways? One person can do nothing, but a whole people educated can do much. 35 trillion passed the bankruptcy of 1933 and growing faster than ever. Anyways, I hope you'll take the time to really think about what was just said by these two gentlemen. And I hope you have a good night. Thank you for listening.